All right, I'd like to bring the meeting. Or Bernadine, can you do roll call once you get your chair over there? Please.
Roll call. Mr. Art?
Here.
Ms. Busher? Here. Mr. Bauer?
Here.
Mr. Stoffer?
Here.
Mr. Wetzel?
Here.
Mr. White?
Here.
Ms. Hessler? Here. And Mayor Miller?
Here. Perfect, thank you. All right, does everybody have a copy of the minutes from January 5th? Yes. Did everybody look over it? Yes. Anybody have any questions about it? All right, and I need a motion to approve the minutes from January 5th, 2026.
I'll make the motion.
All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, minutes are approved. Next, we have the acknowledgement of Larry Worth's contributions. That is the current mayor's duty here, so yeah.
I want to read proclamation number 1 of 2026, honoring Larry Worth for his many years of service to Topton. Whereas Mr. Lawrence D. Larry Worth, former mayor of Topton, passed away on January 3rd, 2026. Whereas a lifelong resident of Topton, Larry loved our community and leaves behind an accomplished legacy. He was a 1959 graduate of Brandywine Heights High School, where he served as a class vice president, student council president, and editor of the school newspaper. Larry was also a star athlete who competed on the varsity soccer team, basketball team, and the baseball team. Due to his impressive athletic career and his contributions, Larry was inducted into the Brandywine Heights Athletic Hall of Fame in 2005. Later in life, Larry could still be found at the high school watching athletic events and usually wearing something related to the Boston Red Sox. Whereas Larry was an extremely knowledgeable about all things related to Topton. Throughout the years, he was an active participant in the Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church, Topton Union Cemetery, Pioneer Grange number 177, and the Brandywine Community Library. To name just a few, most recently, Larry served as a curator at the Topton Borough Muni Museum, where he loved giving tours and telling visitors all about the history of Topton and the town that he loved and grew up in. Whereas Larry proudly dedicated 32 years of service to our community, 3 years as Borough Council member, and 29 years as an elected mayor of Topton. His unwavering commitment to our community leaves an enduring impact on many of the residents of Topton who had the privilege of knowing Larry. Now therefore, I, Guy Miller, the mayor of Topton, do hereby proclaim that we honor and celebrate the life and accomplishments of Larry D. Larry Worth, and extend our deepest condolences to his family, friends, and all that knew him. Furthermore, I, Guy Miller, the mayor of Topton, do hereby proclaim Lawrence D. Larry Worth's birthday, August 15th, to be Larry Worth's Day in the borough of Topton, and I encourage all Topton residents to support our wonderful community with kindness, integrity, and generosity on this day and every day, just as Larry did throughout his lifetime. Thank you.
Thank you, Guy. I also want to note, not only do we have the current mayor here, we have a former mayor here also who showed his gratitude to Larry. He was one of the pallbearers in Larry's funeral, which I think was really nice. Thank you, Tom. It's great. Communications.
The first item is a communication from the Girl Scouts. We get this annually. They would like to use the parking lot off of White Street to sell cookies. It starts mid-January and runs through the beginning of March. We're asking for council's permission.
This is what they do every year, right?
Yeah, and they presented the certificate of
I
insurance.
was just gonna say that they have their certificate of insurance,
They
okay.
haven't passed.
Then can I get a motion to,
So moved.
okay?
Second.
All right. Everybody okay with that? All right. Does, anybody have any questions or anything, or, nope, we're good? All right. That was an easy. Yeah, exactly, buy the cookies, yeah. All right, Stacy?
Next item is from the library. So Brandy White Community Library has a summer reading program, and the theme this year is Unearth Your Story, and they would like some of our large trucks and equipment on site either July 14th, 15th, or 16th for approximately 45 to 60 minutes one of those days, just as an activity for those children in that program this summer.
What days are those? Days of the week?
14th, 15th, 16th.
That's what, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right, so we're gonna put that in there. So 45, so it's gonna require the guys to go out there with the trucks
And be there with the equipment.
and be there,
They will not
okay.
leave,
That was my concern.
And they do have the permission of the property owner
Yeah, okay,
because they are under lease.
perfect. All right, can I get a motion to allow that to happen?
Motion. Go ahead, Mike.
Good, okay. Second? Okay, perfect. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? All right.
Next item is PA Game Commission's Hunter Access Program. They present us with a cooperation agreement, cooperative agreement. At such time, you can, as a council, make changes to that agreement. And it's a lot more detailed than it used to be, so council is able to make very specific changes to what is allowed to be hunted and or trapped. Currently, our access is only for hunting. So I would need to discuss this with council or have a discussion now in order to make those specifications in the agreement and then authorize the signature of it.
Is this, you sent this to us earlier.
Correct.
Correct. Has everyone actually read this and gone through it, or is this something that we need to table, read, and talk about the next time? What are your thoughts? Okay. So I'm thinking maybe we should all take it with us and really take a look at it and read it, and then,
How much more different from is this one to the last one? Like, how much more information is different?
There's an attachment and called the landowner checklist attachment that was never included before. This is, they're trying to get everything to be done online. Therefore, you can choose archery, muzzleloader, shotgun, rifle, and then also all of the animals and types of animals.
looks like they send along the updates to the program also.
Right,
In the back here.
and
so-
why it's being done.
Yeah, definitely.
Have we restricted anything in the past?
Yes, no trapping was done at the last agreement approval.
No trap.
Correct.
And then the trail cameras, the blinds, the stands, that was never allowed. Correct.
That's up to whatever licensing and parameters that the game commission sets. They enforce everything at our land and our watershed property.
Okay. Thank you.
Violations, etc.
Well, Stacy, you're the borough manager. How different is this than?
It's quite
The other
different,
way, okay.
yes. So I would recommend that council table this for now for further discussion and then for it to be placed on maybe the February or
All
even
right,
later
if
agenda.
that's what you recommend, then that's what we'll do. We'll table that.
Next item is the Pennsylvania State Police have been informed by Chief Schaefer from the Fleetwood Police upon our ending our agreement December 31st. At that time, one of the officers in the Reading office has reached out to us to ask us to forward a letter to the troop commander for Reading to say why he did this and in order for them to get more coverage and more personnel in Reading to support our needs as well as the other communities that they serve.
If I've read this correctly, they will provide us with the same coverage that,
Yes, that's a given. They're just asking us now for, could I have some support documentation to hopefully increase our personnel?
Okay.
That'll cover more.
I don't either, I don't think we have to make a motion on that. I don't think we do.
Just to maybe direct me.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, then can I get a motion to direct Stacy to have someone make the letter to the state police?
Second.
All those in favor? Anyone opposed? All right.
Next one is the Code Blue ordinance suggestion by members of our community, whether they're business owners, residents, whatsoever. We have received multiple, it seemed like a form letter that went out to the community, maybe somewhere in the course of a school district meeting or somewhere else in our community. A sample letter was given out, and people are in favor of protecting pets in extreme weather conditions.
I do agree with having some kind of something to protect pets and cold. My only thing is who would be enforcing it?
Correct,
Police
because
and code enforcement, but we don't have the manpower to enforce it.
But we know that state police don't enforce the ordinance.
Correct.
Correct.
Correct, so without having the Fleetwood Police here now, we're not gonna have anyone to, I mean, this is great. I agree,
I agree with this 100%, but we just don't have the manpower to
Correct.
enforce it.
Yeah,
I mean, I know that, animal control can also enforce it, but until you can get somebody here from animal control, it doesn't always happen for a day or two. And by then,
right, and this, I mean, this is something we should make a decision on tonight. I know it's moving it to a month from now, then you're,
it's not, our situation isn't gonna change in a month.
correct.
I would love to do this. I would love to say yes to something like this, but I just don't know who would enforce it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kathy. I think, again, I think this should be tabled and maybe something we should think about for the future, because I think it's a good thing, but you're right, we don't,
I just don't have anybody to
who's
do it.
gonna do it?
Unless, you get like a local rescue.
Right.
I don't want to say local rescue's names, but if they would become certified with the
Yeah,
code enforcement, law enforcement, the animal control, that they would be able to enforce it, but until something like that would
Yeah.
happen.
I mean, I know a lot of the local rescues are also in the same boat where, they have a lot to do also and no manpower to do it. So,
Yes.
yeah.
That's the only thing that I would be able to think of.
I think this is good, but I think we should talk about how we can make it happen, and that's not gonna be tonight. Yeah, yeah. Does anybody over here have anything, any thoughts on it?
You could institute a policy that would enforce
Right.
some information.
Right. And like Joan said, state police do not enforce local, so, what's the neighbor gonna do? Call and say this dog is out to the state police and they're gonna say, I can't do anything about it? You know, I mean, that's, yeah,
It's sad, but, you know.
It's very sad, but-
It's sad, but there's nothing
yeah.
that can be done.
Well, I think it's something that we should think about for the future and maybe figure out a way how we can make that work. But for tonight, I think it's gotta be tabled.
Okay, and then the final item under communications is from Topton Community Outreach Club, or TCOC, with a list of their 2026 events to get council's approval to use our property, as well as ask for help advertising, whatever's needed. At times, they use the playground, the pavilion, the creek for the fish derby, and of course, the Halloween parade is the largest event.
All right, everybody have a paper?
They do such a great job.
Absolutely,
Yes, it is.
absolutely.
I make a motion, we approve the request.
We'll second it. That's okay.
Absolutely. All in favor? Anyone opposed? All right, looks like the mayor's report is up.
The only thing I have is, it is the winter season, so keep an eye out for emergency, the routes, move the vehicles, make it easier on the borough employees to plow streets, so I've just been informed, apparently there's some kind of mess coming Wednesday or Thursday somewhere, so keep an eye on it, but again, if we could just do our part, moving cars, make it easier on the guys, that would be greatly appreciated. That's all I got.
Perfect. Thanks, Doug. Do we have anyone that's on there too?
No, just pass it.
Okay, I didn't know if we were signing in there or not. All right, any visitor have anything they would like to discuss or anything they'd like to say on the agenda?
So we now have 2 hearing of visitors on our agenda.
Yes, Mr. Billcliff.
The only thing I had was I see them on the agenda for I proposed 2 changes to tax collector fees. I did some research and the borough has not updated the fees for many years, and we are very far behind other municipalities in Berks County. So it's just adjusting to what the fees are going forward. And since no money out of the borough's pocket, these are fees that are paid directly to the tax collector. So it doesn't change any fees that are, any compensation that the borough has to pay to the tax collector.
Right, yeah, and we got that, we can put that on the agenda to, it's gratifying and confirming current practices of compensation.
Yeah. Perfect. Anyone else? Yes.
I could probably wait till the end, just, and for when this comes up under the solicitor's report. I know most of you are new, but any kind of movement on contracts for employees, they're gonna be indicated, or do you just say status and
Me, Kathy, and Kat will be sitting down on Monday just to go over where we're at since Cap and I are new, and we won't accept anything or do anything until we bring it back to the rest of the council. That's gonna happen Monday. And then I'll let Joan take care of the other.
Thank you.
Yep.
There is one other thing also that pertains to that, and just so that I get it right, the lawsuit,
The unfair labor.
the unfair labor practices.
They,
Yeah, you wanna,
I was gonna wait for Joan to
Okay.
explain.
Right, that was dropped, yeah.
They withdrew their unfair labor practice on the borough of Topton. So in an email with Mr. Boland, I just sort of mentioned we'd like to withdraw ours. So if you wanna do it now, we can make a
Wait,
make a motion to withdraw and
Right, visitors. Yeah, I mean, it came up under visitors, and it's already on the agenda under my report, so it's safely on the agenda that you can make a motion on it.
Well, I mean, that is the very next thing we're gonna be talking about on there is, under you,
All right.
the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, so.
All right.
Why don't we talk about that and then make the motion?
Okay, well, Melissa Ron has given the status report, so, and, the, Teamsters have withdrawn the unfair labor practices charge against the borough. So there was just discussion about the, reciprocal unfair labor practices charge, by the borough against the union. If you wish to withdraw that, you will need a motion.
Can we get a motion to withdraw that?
I'll make a motion to withdraw. Second.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? We're done, all right, very good.
My next item will be intermunicipal agreements, for Luther Meadows and Heilman House. On December 29th, I emailed the agreements to HRG, which is the engineering firm, for Diacon. They had some questions about escrow for any work they would do, and my response was that yes, they would need to post an escrow similar to any improvements agreement escrow. And right now, HRG is reviewing the two agreements, and council has copies of the agreements that have been forwarded to discuss with Long Swamp Township and forwarded to DICOM. Do you have any questions on the agreement? On those agreements? The next item is the conditional use appeal decision, Topton Investments LLC, for 41 West Wise Street. We had the conditional use hearing, I believe in September. The conditional use was denied. An appeal was filed, and we responded, and we filed the record in response to the bit of social area. It's the court telling us to file a record with the court. We did that on October 21st. I checked the docket today to see if there had been any movement on the appeal, because it's up to Topton Investments LLC as the appellant property owner to move it forward, and there has been nothing done or filed, no briefing schedule issued by the court. So that's going to continue to monitor, but there has been no action by the appellant on it. The next one was brought up by Mr. Gulfcliff, and that is the amendment to ordinance 01-2022. And that would be ratifying and confirming current practices of compensation and reimbursement of costs of the tax collector. The compensation of the tax collector is a commission of 2% of all taxes collected during a discount period, and 5% commission on taxes collected during a flat rate penalty period. For tax certifications, the tax collector may retain as compensation a fee of $25 for each such certification, and charge a fee of $5 for tax duplicate bill and $10 more than the amount charged by the tax collector's financial institution for any return checks. And then that would be the amendment to the ordinance currently in place. I would need a motion to authorize the advertisement of this ordinance. I believe it would be ordinance number 01-2026.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Anyone have any questions? All those in favor? Anyone opposed?
Now, there's one other item that I just found out about this afternoon, and that is that the property at 546 Celia Avenue was referred to the county's blighted property review committee. I just received from the committee a copy of the application that will be on the agenda for next Tuesday's blighted property committee meeting. It's Tuesday, I believe it's 1:30, it's via Zoom. So that will be on the agenda that is referred to the program. And other than that, does council have any questions about anything else?
Anyone have any other questions for Joan?
So that, 41 White Street, that probably isn't going to take place in February like originally. I thought somebody had set the court date in February.
No, there's no court date on it, because in order for there to be a court date, there needs to be, the applicant, the appellant, needs to file a brief, for the case to be argued. They haven't done anything. I checked the docket, at about 4 o'clock this afternoon to see if anything had been done. Nothing has been done. I think I had believed that something would be done early this year, but that hasn't, according to the docket, nothing's been filed.
Was there a time frame that they have in order for them to?
Yes.
So many days to.
It's not so many days. We had so many days to file the record, it's called lodging the record. We had 20 days to do that, and we did that back in October. As far as the applicant, it depends on the judge you get. Some judges move their calendars very aggressively and bring the parties in and issue a briefing schedule, have a conference on the case. Other judges let the parties kind of manage it themselves and decide how quickly to proceed. What will happen though is if this sits on with no activity for 2 years, then there's a notice that goes out and it will get administratively dismissed if nothing happens within those 2 years. It's called judicial administration.
I would think every shorter time.
Yeah, those are the state rules of judicial administration. Rule, I think 1925 of the rules of judicial administration, that if there's no docket activity for a period of 2 years with no explanation, then the case can be dismissed. So the burden is on them to go forward with it. It's been assigned to Judge Feuderman, and I believe Judge Feuderman generally lets the parties arrange that, decide how to move the cases. Other judges in the civil division are much more aggressive with setting dates and moving forward, but it's their property, it's highly from them.
All right. Thanks, Joan. Stacy, you're up again.
As everyone knows, our next billing for water and sewer will be going out at the end of the month, so if council could please, if you do have any input for the newsletter, we would need your input by end of business this Friday, the 16th. We do have mandatory items that need to go into a newsletter regularly, including MS4 information, recycling information. So we want to make it short, but of course, if something's needed, we'll put it in. Hopefully, we're going to just stick to 4 sides, so 2 sheets of paper that we then need to insert into each customer's invoice. So please, see one of us in the office if you want something added. Norfolk Southern did reach out recently about their 2026 schedule. There will be crossing closures. There's more information to be communicated to emergency management, ambulance, fire, the school district. They're looking at May for High Street closures that are temporary, and then more permanent closures. And in June for Home Avenue, Main Street, and High Street as well. Temporary closures in March and June, they're saying. It's not very set in stone yet, but they are sharing what the timing is going to be between Albertus and Blandon. So as they're known, I'll share them with the community when those times get closer, and I'll share them with, of course, our engineering firm. We are currently working on our state liquid fuels reporting and auditing. Also, the workers' compensation audit has been requested. Our regular financial auditors are coming in the beginning of February, so we're preparing all of the closing documents that we may have, end of year revenue expenditures, end of year reconciliation. Any needs that the finance chair sees, please let us be aware of them, and then if you'd like to come into the office during that audit, please do so. The water service line material, makeup of your water service line, those letters were mailed in December, and we continue to get communications from the property owners about what their service line is made of. So please, tell your neighbors if they don't know what it is, to let us know or to communicate with us in some way, shape, or form. We are now in a drought watch according to the state's drought committee. There are very few, only about 6 or 8 counties in Pennsylvania that aren't in some sort of drought watch or warning. So please see communications in the future from our water department. If this does not improve, we might have to do, as we did last year, just asking the community to try to conserve. I did make the proposals public and advertise the proposals for legal services and solicitor for the borough. The first advertisement went into the Reading Eagle on the 9th, and those advertisements will continue 2 more times, so we are accepting proposals. The Eastern Birch Joint Comprehensive Plan is in its final stages. As you know, our planning commission has been working on that for about 1.5 years now. We sought funding to try to pay for it with the other municipalities we're working with. The final draft has been presented to council and planning commission. Your comments are due by the end of January to that planning commission contact that you were made aware of. If you have any questions, also reach out to those planning commission contacts. It's a 10-year plan, so your comments count for 10 years to come. The bidding thresholds were communicated to municipalities in Pennsylvania. Of course, they did get adjusted and they went up. So purchases that are under $13,200 would not require any formal bidding or written quotes. Between $13,200 and $24,500 would require 3 quotes, and of course above $24,500 would require bidding. So it is adjusted slightly.
Is everyone getting the emails from the Pennsylvania Association of Boroughs? Okay, just want to make sure that the new people are set up, because that was in there. Okay.
This would actually need action by council. The next item is the agreement for the Berks County Uniform Construction Code Board of Appeals. Because we're a member of this, we do not have to have our own borough appeals board for anything UCC, construction at your house related. So we would need for her to consider executing the agreement to remain a member for 2026.
A second.
Still, $300.
There is a fee, yes.
Yeah, it's right there in the very last page. All right, anybody have any questions? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? All right.
And my final item under the line report is quality of life. As you know, we do it on complaint-based matters for any properties within the borough of Topton. Currently, our staff in the office have been responsible for writing the violations. I myself is the code official that has been signing and dating those violations. I believe some of Borough Council wanted to discuss any help that may be needed by our office staff in order to get this done every year throughout the year.
And if you volunteer,
Thank you, Kathy. That's all I had.
Okay, thank you, Stacy. Committee reports, obviously these are gonna be short because everyone just found out what their committees were last week, so a lot of us aren't gonna have too much to say. So we'll start with Mr. White, Environment Committee. Do you have anything for us?
Yeah, I got notified, I guess the MS4 was pretty much done except for some signs that had to be put up. I was notified today all signs have been put up, so that's all been taken care of.
Good, perfect.
And thank you guys for getting that done for us. Appreciate it. Talked to Stacy about source border protection plan. We haven't had time to sit down and really discuss that yet, so I don't know a whole lot about that. I was doing more with the MS4 because I could find that stuff on the computer and look into that. As far as I knew, that was the only thing that was holding up there to finish that.
Perfect. Anything else for us?
That's it.
Okay. Mr. Stoffer, Personnel Committee.
I have something. The unused vacation by Alex Lord for 2025, I think everybody got a handout, showing that this vacation, since he has no help with the sewer plan, he doesn't get any vacation, and if I read correctly, he is owed $5,641.25, is that correct?
That's the dollar amount, which represents 183 vacation days and 2.75 personal days, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Is the budget in good enough shape to pay him?
Yes.
I make a motion that we reimburse Mr. Lord to that amount, $5,641.23.
I second it.
All right. All those in favor? Anyone opposed?
All right, wastewater treatment plant open position. I have application or request for an application as prepared by Alex Lord. I don't know if everybody has this. Has anybody seen it?
You all have a
Oh,
copy
yes.
You all have a copy of it?
of the job description or advertisement.
The only thing I would add, are we going to go ahead and advertise for this position? But I recommend that we go ahead.
I think we should, yes. Yes.
The only thing I would add someplace, Stacy, is that, when do we want the applications to be received? Can we receive, if we advertise it in the next 3 weeks, can we have applications received by February the 2nd? That would give us a month. Is that enough time? We need more time?
You can always see what you get, and if you didn't get an adequate amount, continue to advertise.
That makes sense.
Put that in the ad someplace, Stacy, maybe in, where it says successful candidate must submit to the et cetera, et cetera. So, interested applicants will be sending cover letter, resume, and 3 professional references, salary requirements to you. Applications must be received by February the 2nd, 2026. And then, okay, let's take one at a time. I make a motion then, that addition that we advertise for help for Alex at the sewage treatment plant. I make that motion.
I'll second that. That's not, that's it. Yeah, there we go. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? All right.
Then, along that line, once the applications are in, then we ought to have a 3-member committee to review the applications, along with Stacy and Alex Lord. I'd like him to sit in on it, so we need to have a 3-member committee to review the applications and make a recommendation to the council. I would, as personnel, I would like to sit on that committee, and I'm looking for 2 volunteers to join me, or if you want to appoint them, that's your discretion.
All right, why don't I appoint them? How about, so Cap, let's do Mr. Wetzel, and let's do Mrs. Bushel. How's that? Okay. Perfect, yeah, exactly. You are utilities there.
Okay, then I have one more item, and you have the paper in front of you. It seems like our borough manager has not had a salary discussion for 2026, and just getting this a day, I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm up in the air. Does anybody have any comments or recommendations at this point?
I would like to recommend a definite salary increase for our borough manager.
Yes.
I don't know if you want me to give a percentage out loud or.
Go ahead.
I recommend 3% for her because she does run the borough. You know, she is responsible for a lot of things during the day.
I absolutely agree. My question is, you know, how will that reflect in the budget?
There's enough.
There, I mean, it's,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's enough there for our borough manager to have a raise.
Are you making a motion?
Oh, I will make that motion.
And I will second it.
all right.
You're saying it does not require an amendment to the budget?
No, it should not require a budget.
Just a transfer between possible sources of expenditure.
The reason I'm asking is, I mean, you can amend the budget at this time. I just want to make sure that you don't have to, because there's a limited time frame.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? So be it.
That covers me, thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Wetzel?
Yeah, I'll pick this up.
Well, I figured, you know what, that's the way it is. Mrs. Hassler, Finance Committee.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to approve the list of bills and transfers as presented.
Did anyone second that? You did, okay, all right, perfect. All right, all those in favor of paying the bills as presented? Anyone opposed? Pay those bills.
I would also like to make a motion to permit our borough office to approve any necessary and pay any necessary expenditures in between meetings. You know, things do come up in between
Yeah.
that have to be done.
Oh, sure. I second that. Anybody have any questions about that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay.
And that's it for me today.
All right. Community relations, that is me. So I don't really have anything on the community report, although I believe the 26th of this month is the library's fundraiser at Anthony's Coal Fire Pizza. Is that correct? The 26th? Yeah. So that's a Monday night, and that goes for takeout too, I believe. So it's yeah.
At the Trexler.
Yeah, at the Trexlertown location. So you have to eat. Why not eat and have the library get some money from it? The 150th anniversary committee meeting is this Thursday, so I don't really have anything to report because, well, it's Thursday and today's Monday, so maybe at the next meeting we'll have something to report. Yeah.
Will you be attending?
Yes.
that meeting?
Yeah.
Will you be available to
can do that.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
If not, I'll be here, so.
Okay. Scott, I think you're, are you coming to that too? Yeah,
As
okay.
long as everything goes okay.
Oh, that's right.
That's what I
Okay.
wanted to make sure,
Yeah.
just that somebody else would be here.
And the last thing, Stacy, how do you say that word?
Sesquicentennial.
Thank you. History book dedication request from the editor. I believe there was a request to dedicate it to Larry so that his name remains here all the time and in our nice history book. I don't think we need to make a motion on that. I think that's just something that's going to be done. Correct? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great idea as well. Yeah. Next, we have properties and events. That is Mr. Arndt.
The only thing I have is Mr. Buck probably was there in the school and will be submitting, conference,
Okay.
probably by the end of the week.
And is everyone aware of what
Do you
Mr.
wanna explain what that-
Holding on?
Instead of having our employees tackle the pool or another contract for that, so we contacted the building recycler, which is called her, to come and look at it, and he's gonna give us a quote.
Okay.
I would much rather have some.
It's something that, once you start it, you just finish it. We can't say that we could stay out using our people. And there's other things involved in it, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly, like a pre-work meeting with the engineer, environmental issues that need to be complied with.
Okay. Anything else? That's it? All right, Mrs. Busher, you are up next, utilities and events.
There are currently 30 payment plans in place that are every February 16th. There were 2 year switch outs. Hopefully there will be more once it gets better. One property was terminated as of the 8th and is still off. There has been a deficit for condemning. One property was posted on Friday, the 9th, due to lack of access to meters for reading. The termination deadline is set for the 13th of May. The readings, they had just done it like Wednesday and Thursday of last week. They were out doing the readings on Friday. The readings for the next month. The bills are going out later this month and due in late February. Payment plans are available to residents that we get.
And an update is, the one that was shut off
Yeah.
did pay and did not have to condemn.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so
There's nobody terminated now? Or is that still
As
on
of
the-
today,
Perfect.
it depends on
Okay.
tomorrow.
perfect. I have to say,
Tomorrow's another day.
yeah. I mean, I have to put my 2 cents in here, and I understand that, but I have a real big problem with turning people's water off if they have a family in that house.
Yes. Well, there is.
I don't think
also-
that's-
There are also options, and I don't know if many people know this, that if there's a medical issue, that they can always file for a medical
Correct.
waiver and extend that.
Yes.
We also have the budgeting plans, and if somebody needs, and also the payment plans too,
Yes.
so.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, but I understand. Anything else? All right.
So, beyond-
Yes.
As far as the utilities are concerned, 4 years ago when I was on council, I was really interested in an emergency well. And we had looked out an agreement, not a written agreement, but a verbal agreement, our company, for use of their land. I'd like to know where we stand with that. With that, well,
That leads right into the engineers.
that's what I was hoping.
I believe I can answer your question.
Before you start the engineer's report, can you introduce yourself to those of us who don't know you?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Josh Fryer. I represent Barry Isaac Associates, which is a local engineering and code enforcement firm. I'm your representative. for the firm. So we've got a really great team of about 20 engineers. And I'm here to make sure that we get all your guys' needs taken care of. Well, I'll correct myself. Stacy, make sure all you guys are doing. I just want to say Stacy. Well, if you'd like, the water supply well is number 3 in my report, so we can start there since you were asking.
Thank you.
So we are still in the feasibility stage, but we are at the very end of the feasibility stage. So what we've been working on is getting DEP to tell us we're allowed to drill some test wells. So our environmental engineering team has been putting together a pre-drilling application and feasibility study. It's a 60-page document that was submitted to DEP about a week ago. And we did get a response back from them. Their main geologist for this region is on a permanent leave and doesn't know when he'll be back. So they have to pull in geologists from other regions to review that, which is just how it goes sometimes. So they're a little behind, but they're going to review it as soon as they can. We have been putting together the spec documents for the well drilling of the test wells, but with that delay, we're going to hold off on that. We've made good progress on it, but we're not going to keep spending money on that because we don't want to get too far along and then have DP tell us that, you know, you need to move to a different location or something like that. So we're still doing that feasibility. Once DEP says, yes, you can drill a hole in the ground and see how much water you get, that's what we'll do as soon as possible, and that'll tell us if it's a good location for it.
No, question. Are we, is that, your estimated total cost of $360,000?
Yes, and I will state that that 360,000 estimate was from, I think, about 2 years ago.
So it's could be higher.
Like,
Do we have funding in place, or are we thinking about the funding for this project?
So we're thinking about the funding in that we know we can build the well, and we'll have to look for other resources, including grants funding for that.
Have
And-
you looked into Pennsylvania investment infrastructure, Pennsylvania investment infrastructure?
So-
Penvest.
Invest.
yeah, so,
That we usually get the help of our engineer with even doing an application to that.
Penvest.
that's right, yeah. The good news is we have one of the best grants team in the region.
I know you.
And for our clients, we provide, there's a couple caveats, but we typically provide up to 50 hours pro bono grant writing services. And they have a really high success rate. So as soon as going for a grant now, when the people providing money don't even know if we are allowed to drill a well,
Right, I
they're
understand.
not likely to give us grants.
Just
But
as
once-
long as we have a plan, a game plan.
This is an infrastructure project that really needs to happen. It's critical for the borough, so we're just taking it step by step. And we're gonna do this.
And as Barry, I said, and Josh go step by step, it's brought in front of council to approve step by step and obligate funds step by step.
That answers my question. Thank you.
If there are no other questions on the water supply well, we'll move on to the other topics. If this is your first time seeing one of these reports, the items that are grayed out are items that have been presented to council previously. Anything in bold is feel free to ask me questions on anything on this report. Number 1, the filter media permit. That is to replace the filter media in one of the water supply pump houses. It is due to be replaced, and we did receive comments on that application from DEP. There are 2 minor comments that should be resolved within the next 10 days. So the next step is going to be deciding if the borough would like to complete that work in the house, or if we're going to put it out. That discussion will likely be ongoing. I think I'll need to talk to Scott about his capabilities there. I expect it's going to go up to bid, but I want to double check with Scott. Number 2, Washington Street pumping station. So we did get an application for a general permit submitted to DEP. They came back and notified us that they are going to require sewer planning, which in our opinion is ridiculous. It's not a huge deal, but the lady we have on our team that prepared that permit used to be the head of that department, and which is great to have on our team. And she said she has never once seen that required. So they're pulling a technicality, and we're all frustrated by it. But at the end of the day, it means that the borough is going to have to tell DEP that this is our system, we're owning it, there's no proposed increase in use. They're asking us to propose to certify that we are not going to increase the demand on our own system when there are no added users. So, anyway, it's ridiculous, but we found out about this on Friday, and on today we just put together this application to request a waiver. I will need your signature into this evening. We'll get it off to DEP, and we're requesting that we continue the technical review of our permit while this is outstanding. But once this goes in, we should get the exemption that they're requiring us to have, and it should be smooth sailing. So,
And would you need council's approval to sign that document for a waiver?
so the nature of this document is just the borough certifying that there's not any increased use, which is obvious due to the nature of the project, but the DEP is requiring a signed document saying that. So as long as council is comfortable with Stacy signing on behalf of council,
I mean, I think that would be ministerial and not required.
okay. Alright, I will jump to item number 4. Some good news on the grants front. Speaking of our grants team, we did receive the announcement that Topton Borough received the 2024 LSA statewide grant for East Barkley Street Water Main Replacement Project. That grant was submitted by Barry Isaac Grants Application Team on behalf of the borough. $137,950 was originally requested in the grant application, and DCED announced that $124,428 would be awarded to the borough. So our grants team asked that we pass along, their congratulations to you guys. They're very excited for you. I'm always happy for a win. So we'll get moving on that project because I know that water main does need to be replaced as soon as possible. And one other note that I don't have on here, but the Oak Alley DCNR Callowhill Street Common project, we actually were notified recently by DCNR, but do you remember there were some funds left over that council was trying to decide to use or not, and we were gonna maybe put up some fences to get the rest of the money available in the grant to the borough. The agency recently told us that that grant is fully funded, even though the council didn't have to do, even though the borough didn't have to do anything else. So, long story short, we thought the borough would have to do more work to get the rest of the funding. In reality, they gave the borough all the money. So, great news for you guys. That's not what we typically see, but you guys got the full amount of the grant without actually spending the money. Is my understanding of the situation. Item 5, Windstream is proposing a fiber optic extension within the borough. They'll be extending their fiber optic lines in the western portion of the borough, west of the elementary school and between the tracks in West White Street, all the neighborhoods through there. They're going to be running conduit all along the shoulders, under driveways. They're not proposing any major trenching. They're going to be drilling and tunneling, so they don't have to disrupt driveways and sidewalks and roadways and that sort of thing. But we did notice on the plans that quite a bit of their lines seem to be running along property lines, but through public property, through private property. So we're going to require them to prove that they have the rights to install those lines before we issue them a permit to work it all, and we're going to require them to notify those private property owners before they do it, because people need to be aware of any works being done on the front. Moving on, the wastewater treatment plant chlorine contact chamber. At the previous meeting, council requested that I reach out to the manufacturers of the coating that would be applied to the chlorine contact chamber to ask them if we get a reduced surface preparation on the existing surface, how much would that reduce the life of the material? These manufacturers have proven difficult to get a hold of. I think I've got a couple contacts that will get back to me, but that is still ongoing. I'm working on it. But the question is essentially, if we save money on surface prep, bring this project down to within the borough's budget, how long will it be until we have to do this again? So if we did it ideally and spent a lot of money, how long would it last? If we did it cheaper, how much would we lose? That's the answer I'm trying to, that's the question I'm trying to answer. Remaining items on here, I don't have any updates. However, it's a full demolition project. Just a reminder, when that was done, let's have a pre-construction meeting with whoever's going out there so we make sure the conservation district doesn't get upset with us and shut us down. That's all I have for you.
Perfect, thank you. All right, old business. Hometown Heroes update. What do you got, Steve? Nothing?
A couple of banners were pulled down, or at least two were pulled down close to the high school.
I see, yeah, I saw down by the school, there were a couple left.
Yeah, one was damaged beyond repair. It would have to be replaced, and the person who purchased it, sponsored it, is not going to replace it. They'll just keep it in their home or something like that. So we're going to ask council, maybe at the next meeting, or even in March, to consider possibly doubling up somewhere else and not really putting them out there where the wind is ruining a $200 banner for someone. And we look at a fairness factor. What about the ones in town that don't get that wind? That sucks for someone who spent $200 and now has to buy another one. I think.
Are we offering this to residents and people yet, or is this?
Still, a little bit. We have very few spots.
I'm just wondering if with the big anniversary coming up, if this would be something to kind of push and promote again, if we can get some more people.
We really run out of space to handle.
Right. So what we had done was we haven't gone through the list of 140 approximately banners there that are out there now that have been there 2 years. That was set by the original council as one of the stipulations that we would look at that mark and then bring them down, give them to the families, and if they wanted to buy another one or pay again to put it up or something like that, depends on, the stipulations of the council. We haven't gone through that just because of the manpower, and now we have a volunteer that is a scout who might be doing part of that project for us.
Perfect.
Finding out where they all are, GIS coordinate wise, and using our list.
Who's doing that for his Eagle Scout project?
Perfect, that's great.
So it would depend on the community. It has been trickling. It takes a year from the point where we have an application to the point where we have enough to order.
Yeah.
A year, that's a long time for somebody to wait.
Next, Topton Community Ambulance Board, and I see she's back there in the corner, so,
I see that one. I don't have anything currently. We did have meeting, the multiple municipalities in November or December because of the holidays. Normally, that's where the information I provide to you comes from. That's a meeting between all municipalities that we serve. So, next meeting, I'll probably have an update, possibly a summary for 2025 for the area. What else would you want other than that?
Anybody have any suggestions?
They are in the process of applying for grants and things, and figuring out a new truck or rehab rotation for all the trucks. Things to be done on a rotating basis every so many years.
Okay. Why don't we, as a council, think about that for the next meeting, what it is that we would like to hear from this report, and then go forward from there. Topton Borough Preservation Board. Who is now doing that? Come on, Stacy.
You?
What, was that Carol Cook?
It was.
It was Carol Cook, okay.
They
So,
hadn't met in quite some time on a formal basis. Suggested to Mr. Worst, Craig Worst, that we get in contact with him as part of the cemetery and then also the Community Museum and strategize who, where, and when a meeting could take place.
is there anyone that would like to do that that's on the council? All right, why don't we think about that also for the next meeting? Who's going to represent council on the preservation board? And can go from there. And we've got some ladies from the library here. Hello.
Thank you for your commercial. When you go to Anthony's, you have to tell them that you're there for the library. Make sure that you do that. And if you don't like pizza, our February fundraiser is at Texas Roadhouse.
Nice.
Our fundraising team works really hard. Last year, as of November anyway, they had raised $12,000, and that's not donations. So or our annual request, it's just, all sorts of sales and those kinds of things. There is a seed exchange for people who like to plant things. We're participating in that. There are several libraries across the county that are doing that. And mark your calendar for January the 25th, which is the day before the dinner. At 7 p.m. on BCTV, there is a program that is featuring Heather and our library.
Oh, nice. What is the program called? Like what?
I don't recall the title of it, except I think it has elders in it, so I think the focus is on what the library does for elders. So the 25th, that's for that, and as always, thank you for your support. Did I forget anything? I don't think so. Thank you for all your support.
All right, we have a second hearing of visitors. Is there anything any visitor would like to discuss that doesn't have to do with the agenda, Stacy? That's good. So the only thing that I want to discuss before we adjourn is it seems as though there were meetings almost every single week, and I believe we have every other week set aside for a meeting if we need them. Are we going to continue to do every other week, or are we going to continue to do once a month?
I'm okay with once a month, just say that.
And as needed?
Yeah, the second meeting as needed until we get closer to budgetary time.
Correct.
That's when we.
Yeah, that's usually when we need a couple extra things,
That's when
but,
we need that extra meeting.
all right, so then I guess our next meeting will be February 9th. All right, if that's it, then I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Thank you.
No.